So, we've begun talking about this vortex because we want you to understand that there are 3 steps to the creative process. Step 1 is ask, and you can't help but do that. Contrast causes you to ask all day, every day. Know what you don't want, you're asking for what you do want. Step 2 is source becomes the vibrational equivalent of what you're asking for. That's this vortex that we're talking about. Source stands in this vortex, emitting the signal of what you have become. And law of attraction gathers all cooperative components to that vibrational place. Now, sometimes you say, well, the vibrational place isn't all that exciting to me because I can't spend it. I can't see it even. I can't hear it. I can't smell it. I can't taste it. I can't touch it. I'm not that excited about this vibrational vortex thing, whatever it is. And we say, but you must be excited about it because you have to understand that everything that you know that has manifested in your physical world was a vibrational frequency first and was in a vortex vibrationally before the components were gathered enough that it could be translated through your vision, through your auditory, through your sensory perception. In other words, everything that you see in this physical time-space reality is a vibrational interpretation of something that was in a vortex, just like this vortex that we're talking about. It is a precursor to everything. It's big, and it is reality. Step 3 is you got to find a way into the vortex. You've got to let yourself be vibrationally up to speed. So we want to make this real to you. We want you to understand that once life has caused you to put something into this vortex, that this is reality. In fact, it is so much reality that we want to proclaim to you in a way that you will always remember us shouting this to you lovingly. This is present tense. This vortex is who you are. That's why when you don't let yourself be up to speed with it, you feel the drag that is what is resistance, that is what is negative emotion. When you feel bad, it's because you're not up to speed with the present vibration of who you are. Which means, now hear this, this means that everything that is manifested so far is old news. It's old news. That's why you get bored so fast, and you know you do. You know you do. As quickly as a manifestation comes, you're off to the next one. And we want you to understand that this vortex of creation is where it's at, because it is where the vibrational version of you is. It's who you have become. And if you're not up to speed with it, even a little bit not up to speed with it, you're going to feel the diminishment of not being up to speed with it. So if you're really not up to speed with it, you feel despair. You feel powerless. If you're less not up to speed with it, how's that for a tricky way of saying it? As you're closer to the vortex, feeling some anger, you're offering less resistance, more allowance. If you're overwhelmed, you're offering less resistance than you were, but still a pretty good wad of resistance. Frustration, pretty good wad of resistance. If you're feeling hopeful, there's not much resistance in your vibration at all. And when you feel hopeful, on a pretty regular basis, the vortex will take you in because you're close enough to cooperative that in you go. And once you're in the vortex, once you are in there, now you will have the full view of in the vortex. Now you'll be aware of things. Things will begin occurring to you. In other words, that hope turns to belief very, very quickly as you are in the vortex. And that belief turns to knowing very, very quickly once you're in the vortex, till you reach the place where you understand that you are creator and that there is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. And that everything that is occurring in your experience is by your choice and by your choice alone. And so we are just suggesting that if you will make the way you feel a high, in fact, the highest, in fact, the singular priority, how I feel, nothing is more important than that I feel good. Because nothing is more important than that I be in the vortex. Because nothing is more important than that I be a cooperative component to who I have become. Because when I'm not a cooperative component to who I have become, I'm not who I have become. In other words, doesn't that make perfect sense to you? You are creators. You didn't come to fix a broken world. It isn't broken. You came to explore it and to expand it. You came as eternal consciousness. So we want you to understand that as source energy, as we see you here in your physical experience, and you are giving birth to all kinds of new rockets of desires, we embrace those rockets and we hold steadily to the new place that you have carved out. We have access to the benefit that you provide. And then we stand as that steady signal so that you can find your way into alignment with it. Sometimes people say, so you're using us, eh? We're here doing all of this sifting and sorting. Sometimes they say, well, Abraham, why don't you come and be physical? Why don't you come and be physical? And we so want you to understand that that which you are is that which we are, and that which we are is that which you are. In other words, there is not a separation between us other than the temporary separation that you provide when you stand in negative emotion. In other words, it's all by your choice of thought that you hold yourself far too long outside the vortex. So, we are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. We're going to offer everything that we can offer to coax you in the direction of your vortex. We stand in complete, never-ending appreciation for wherever you are standing, because we reap the benefit of everything you ask for. So some might say we do have the better end of this stick because we stand in the place getting to receive the benefit of all of your sifting and sorting and expanding. But we want you to understand that this vibrational place where we stand, this place of love always, this place of constant knowing and appreciation, this place of riding the fastest wave into the new realm of expansion, it's there for you too. In other words, you get to ride these rockets. When you feel elation, when you feel shivers running through you, what you're actually feeling is what we're feeling. We just want you to tune yourself to that more. We want you to experience the joy of the life that you have carved out, as we do. So, this vortex of creation, which we asked you earlier, do you believe in the reality of this vibrational reality? And most of you can feel the reality of this vibrational reality. And then we say to you, you can't see what's in there, you can't hear what's in there, you can't smell what's in there. Your physical senses aren't going to help you to discern this vibrational reality, not at first and not from your outside viewpoint. But if you will accept that this vibrational reality is a vibrational place that you can feel, and you will try to find it through emotions rather than through thoughts. In other words, rather than thinking with your logic, feel with us for a little bit. Something happened in Esther's experience not too long ago that took her outside the vortex. Now, we acknowledge that she allowed it, but it took her outside the vortex. And when you're used to hanging around in there, a little excursion outside the vortex is not pleasant. Esther's friend Karen said, I have a 24-hour out of the vortex bug. Esther liked that. In other words, meaning there's something that I'm working on that makes it easier to be out than in. So we said to Esther, focus with us on some words. Let's go through the alphabet. Let's start with the letter A and just try to find what you think is an inside the vortex word that starts with A. And right away, Esther thought of some. She said appreciation. Now, she wasn't feeling it. It was just a mental exercise. Appreciation, she said. We said, what else? Allowing. Wasn't feeling it. It was just a word. But what else? Alignment. So now, by the time she found her third A word, we said, now, go back over them. See if you can find the feeling of appreciation. Well, she couldn't, but it was fun asking. So then we said, now let's move to B. Can you think of a word that begins with the letter B that you would think would be considered an inside the vortex word? And Esther right away thought of basking. Now, basking moved her energy a little bit because Esther is a basker. Sometimes she and Jerry will find something and they'll just beat it to death. Anybody watching them would run away sometimes at the appreciation that they're feeling. So Esther just stayed in the vibration of basking, just thinking about basking. We said to her, "What is basking?" And she said, "No, I don't know, what is it?" And we said, basking is looking around your immediate vicinity for something to feel good about. So, basking. What else? Balance, but basking by far felt the best. Then we moved to the C's. What is the C word? Clarity. Oh, Esther loves that feeling of clarity. In opposition to confusion, the feeling of clarity moved her still further. Then she went into D, delicious, she thought. E, she thought of energy. Ease. Oh, the ease word. The ease word hit her right in the right spot. Ease, she thought. Ease. She felt palpable relief in the idea of ease. 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 And then she went to F, flow. Ease and flow. Ease and flow. She just hung around there in ease and flow. Then she went on to G for goodness, and H for happy, and I for inspired, and J for Jerry. In other words, just reaching for no reason other than to focus and feel and focus and feel and focus and feel and focus and feel. We are just saying anything that you can do. The reason that we are encouraging it in the way that we are is because you have no choice. When you're all wadded up in the details of your life experience, and the details of your life experience are outside the vortex, so you keep asking for more and not going, and asking for more and not going, and asking for more and not going, and asking for more and not going. The next logical step for someone like you who wants with everything that you are to feel good is a croaking experience. We can feel you somewhat resistant even to the silly game that we're offering here because you are so accustomed to thinking. But you know, when you've trained your mind into thinking yourself into a corner, 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 sometimes it's better to stop thinking. We teach our friends meditation because it's easier to teach you to have no thought at all than to have pure positive thought when you've already got yourself ratcheted up in a very negative way on things, you see. So, we so enjoy the power of your mind. But we want to say to you, you have to find a way of relaxing that powerful focus. And when you do, you will move into the vortex so quickly, you have not even begun to taste the sweetness of the alignment that is waiting for you. Imagine a cork bobbing on the surface of the water, and see that perspective, that position on the water as pure positive energy, connection to source and to all that is good. Now hold that cork under the water. That's what negative emotion is. But in the moment that you let go of it, it bobs right back to the surface again. So what we're saying to you, in the releasing of the thought that you've trained yourself into, you'll bob back to the surface. The vortex will take you in. You can do it a little every single day. Through all of this sorting and sifting, you have done all the asking. You've made all of the decisions one at a time, and they're all in your vortex and they're all queued up. You've done the work. Now your work is to play on the beach. Now your work is to release resistance. Now your work is to appreciate and bask and find clarity and look for delicious ease and flow. In other words, your work is to look for feelings that feel good. Your work is non-work. Your work is release and relief and release and relief and release and relief. And it is our promise to you that you will find all of those answers. They are all queued up for you. You just got to get in the vortex. That's what this whole conversation is about. You just got to get in the vortex. You just got to get in the vortex. But that makes it sound like something that you got to do. So what we really want to say, first time ever, thank you very much. You just got to stop being outside the vortex. You just got to stop clinging to what's out of the vortex. You got to loosen your grip on outside the vortex. You got to play more. You got to laugh more. You got to have more fun. You got to release more. You got to think less. You want to meditate more. You want to bask more. In other words, don't make it a thinking game. Let it be a feeling game.